Am I the asshole? For telling my co-worker that I didn't enjoy my pregnancy? A new co-worker started 3 months ago. Let's call her Linda. She seems pretty nice, which is why I'm really not sure about all this. At my work, we have a tradition where once a new employee successfully completes their probation, we go out for a team lunch. Nothing fancy, but something nice to celebrate. Linda passed her probation, so we went out for lunch. As we're eating, we all get to talking, and the topic of the magic of pregnancy childbirth comes up. Everyone was sharing sweet moments from their pregnancy. I enthusiastically joined in, but didn't share any of my own. I think Linda noticed because she specifically turned to me and said, "Linda, you had twins, didn't you? That must have been a wonderful experience." I smiled and said something along the lines of how I wished my pregnancy and birth had been as positive an experience as theirs had been. To be clear, it was not said sarcastically at all. The truth is, I hated every moment of being pregnant. I could write a long list of all the magical symptoms I had, but I'll just give you the highlights. Horrific vivid nightmares. Hyperemesis gravidarum, severe morning sickness. Debilitating migraines. A metallic taste in my mouth. And then the birth. Honestly, I feel like anything that could go wrong but not be life-threatening did go wrong. Worst of all, due to some of the complications, I ended up being kept in hospital for a while, so I missed the first few days with my girls. It's safe to say I hated every moment of being pregnant and every moment of labor. It was not a magical experience by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't say any of this to Linda, I just responded as I mentioned. After my reply, Linda started getting short with me. Later, I asked her privately what was going on. She snapped and told me what I said was insensitive and undermined their experiences, and told me I was in a hole for it. Since then, she sort of cooled off, and is less hostile, or at least less openly hostile, but last week she invited all the girls in the team to a ladies' night. Everyone but me. Now, I don't mind so much, since ladies' nights are not really my thing, but the fact that she pointedly excluded me has made things awkward. I feel like I need to do something. I'm not really in the mood for drama. I have enough of that in my life right now. I don't need more, so I haven't confronted her about it yet. And as I said, she is otherwise a really nice person, normally pretty friendly and easygoing. So I'm left wondering if I really was in a hole. Was what I said insensitive? Did it undermine their experience? Before I ask her about it, I could use some perspective because I honestly just don't know. Am I the asshole? Good Lord, so not the asshole. I would have wondered if she was pregnant with the way she responded. I also had a very miserable pregnancy and a serious life-threatening event, heart failure, so I can't relate to these stories. You weren't being sarcastic, you weren't telling these women that they sucked for having positive experiences, you didn't call them liars. You just shared your experience. She has shown that she's very petty by excluding you from a ladies' night event. All of this would make me very cautious of working on any projects with her. Good luck. Not the asshole. Linda is playing mean girl, and you are her first target. Linda is awful. Why on earth does she have the right to undermine your experience or expect everyone to feel exactly the same? I shudder to think about any woman who have not had children and the way they'd feel her wrath. She is definitely not someone worth losing sleep over, and I can't believe the others can't see right through her yet. Not the asshole. You have the right to feel as you do about your pregnancy, and it in no way reflects on anyone else's experience. Leave this person alone, no need to bring up her reaction to you or her remarks. She's judgmental, and who needs it? LOL, just do your job and leave it at that. Not the asshole at all. It would have been borderline if you regaled them with a horror show, but even then, that's simply just truthful. Not everything is sunshine and unicorns, and while some are ill-equipped to handle reality, that's a them problem, not a you problem. Not the asshole we're supposed to lie and just pretend it's the most beautiful thing ever. I think more people should be honest about what it's really like for a lot of women. So, distance yourself from her because she doesn't want to live in reality. I bet the teen pregnancy rates would drop significantly if they weren't fantasizing about being over the moon based on BS. Just for some context, how did the conversation get that way? Is it possible Linda has had issues getting pregnant that you know of? Because otherwise I have no idea why this might have upset her, so maybe some context if possible would help. Not the asshole. It's funny that she says you undermined their experiences when in reality when she assumed everyone had a good pregnancy and was annoyed at Op's experience, she was now actually undermining and insensitive. You should tell her that if any she's the one who did what you said. Not the asshole. You were perfectly appropriate. You shared your own experience without getting into the details and bringing everybody down. I don't know what Linda's problem is, but I hope you can continue to cultivate good relationships with your other co-workers. Not everyone has a beautiful experience with pregnancy and childbirth. I bloody hated mine. How dare she call you out for not describing yours as sunshine and roses? Your co-worker sounds a nasty bully, and she is making you her target. Exclusion is bullying. Write down all the barbed comments she has made and the exclusion and go talk to HR. Even if you take it no further, make them aware of her. It's amazing what one bad apple can do in the workplace. Not the asshole. If you can't stand the truth, don't ask. Life is not a fairy tale. Don't expect others to lie to you that it is. This is where I would send a company-wide email telling everyone about my experience and telling Linda to fuck off. Of course, I'd tell HR first. Not the asshole. I hated every second of being pregnant and I will not sugarcoat it. With my last and definitely final pregnancy, I threw up from what felt like the second I found out I was pregnant to a week before I had her at 30 weeks. You don't deserve her hostility just because you had a different experience than her. It's immature and just plain stupid. I wouldn't confront her. You'd just be wasting your time and energy. Edit spelling. Not the asshole, and she is not really nice. She's rude and hostile. She has shown you what she's like. Believe her and avoid. What does your team think? Someone may ask why you weren't there. That's the time to point out you weren't invited. I would check your workplace policies and keep an eye out for escalation. I had hyperemesis gravidarium with both of my pregnancies, and in no way did I enjoy it. Like, at all. Not the asshole. Your experience has been undermined if she wants to look at it like that. Not everyone enjoys pregnancy and has a good experience. Not the asshole. FFS. It's not like you have to please anyone and not speak up what you really feel. You put up with the whole ordeal, and she's the one undermining and insensitive to your experience. Fuck, it makes me angry just reading this. Not the asshole. She's the asshole. As a fellow fuck the nightmare that was pregnancy and childbirth mama, not the asshole. Our fucked up experiences are just as valid as their magical ones. Dear God, she sounds insufferable, honestly. Not the asshole. Linda and people like her need to realize that not everyone enjoys the pregnancy journey. Many people don't remember it positively, and same for the labor. I didn't have any of your symptoms, and I still didn't enjoy mine. My body overheats easily, so I was in Dante's Inferno throughout. I was uncomfortable and exhausted. Labor was uneventful, but still, super painful and exhausting. Do I regret my kids? No. But there's a reason I stopped at 2. I love kids, but getting pregnant again is literally my worst nightmare. Not the asshole. She's the new drama llama, and you're the first victim. She happened to pick the day she was off probation. Not the asshole. Every woman's experience with pregnancy is completely different and valid. Even with the same women, some pregnancies are easier than others. She will eventually shoot herself in the foot. Stay tuned.